Pokedex entries are often thought of as a tool for trainers to learn about the various Pokemon that they encounter on their journeys. But upon closer examination, it becomes clear that many of these entries reveal a much darker nature about the creatures that they describe. Take for example the Pokedex entry for Cubone. It reads, "Cubone pines for the mother it will never see again. Seeing a likeness of its mother in the full moon, it cries. The saints in the skull the Pokemon wears are made by the tears it sheds." And while this may seem like a sad but harmless entry at first glance, upon further thought, it becomes clear that Cubone is wearing the skull of its deceased mother. This reveals a violent and macabre side to the creature, as it must have killed its own mother in order to wear her skull or something to that effect. Hi, I'm Dylan J. Fox, and you're watching some dark Pokedex entries. Another Pokedex entry that reveals a darker nature is that of Haunter. This entry reads, "Haunter is a dangerous Pokemon. If it beckons you while floating in darkness, you must never approach it. This Pokemon will try to lick you with its tongue and steal your life away." This entry paints a picture of Haunter as a malevolent being that preys on unsuspecting victims, luring them in with its beckoning before attempting to steal their life force. This shows a sinister and deadly side to this otherwise seemingly innocent ghost-type Pokemon. But perhaps the darkest Pokedex entry in its evolution line belongs to Gengar, as its Pokedex entry reads, "Sometimes on a dark night, your shadow cast by a streetlight will suddenly and startlingly overtake you. It is actually a Gengar running past you, pretending to be your shadow." This entry reveals that Gengar has the ability to manipulate its appearance and blend in with its surroundings, and by using this power, it tends to play tricks on unsuspecting victims. And with that, it also suggests that Gengar enjoys causing fear and confusion to those it encounters. Another one of Gengar's Pokedex entry reads, "It is also said to be able to sneak up on people and steal their souls while they are sleeping. It is also rumored to be able to turn invisible or become a living shadow." You see, this entry not only reveals Gengar's ability to move unseen and undetected by people, but also hints at its power to steal the very essence of life from its victims. So say you're walking home from the convenience store one night and you see that shadow trailing behind you, and you get all the way home, you have that eerie feeling in your stomach, that weird paranoid feeling, and then eventually you start getting a little tired, you get a little drowsy, and then you go to lay down for a sleep. Well, while you're sleeping, you might just never wake up with this Pokemon around. And while that's scary and all, the dark nature of Pokemon is not just limited to a few select Pokedex entries. For example, the Pokedex entry for Charmander reads, "The flame that burns at the tip of its tail is an indication of its emotions. The flame wavers when Charmander is enjoying itself. However, if the Pokemon becomes enraged, the fire burns fiercely." Now, within this seemingly innocent entry, it lies the fact that Charmander's evolution into Charmeleon and eventually Charizard involves a violent and destructive transformation, as indicated by the Pokedex entry for Charmeleon. Charmeleon mercilessly destroys its foes using its sharp claws. In this excited state, the flame at the tip of its tail burns with a bluish-white color. To me, this shows that Charmander's evolution is not just a natural and inherently positive process, but rather a violent and aggressive one, turning this once cuddly and cute lizard into a killing machine. And listen, it's not just Charmander, many Pokemon undergo similarly violent transformations as they evolve. You can look across a myriad of evolution lines and see trends like this across the whole of it, where happy-go-lucky creatures turn into absolute monsters. Now, moving back to more general Pokedex entries, there are plenty more that reveal a darker side to the world of Pokemon. For example, the Pokedex entry for Onix reads, "As it grows, the stone portions of its body harden and become similar to diamond, but colored black. It also generally has a vicious nature and has been known to crush trainers who defy it." So, what this Pokedex entry reads to me is that if I don't get my Onix its favorite Pokefood or favorite Pokeblock or whatever the generation exclusive food is, the Onix is just gonna lift that tail right up and crush me with it. This generally reveals to me that Onix simply does not care about its trainer and has a violent and overall aggressive nature inherently. Another dark Pokedex entry belongs to the Pokemon Drowsy. This entry reads, "Drowsy sucks the dreams out of people's heads. It is said if you forget your dreams, you will also forget your memories." This entry not only reveals Drowsy's creepy ability to feed on the dreams of others, but also implies that it has the power to suck the actual memories straight out of your head. Like, bro, what are you doing with my memories? I need those. And to follow up Drowsy, another Pokemon with a dark Pokedex entry is Hypno. This entry reads, "Hypno holds a pendulum in its hand. The arcing movement and glitter of the pendulum lull its foe into a deep state of hypnosis. While it is hypnotized, the foe is made to do Hypno's bidding. This entry not only reveals Hypno's ability to control the minds of others, but also implies that it uses its power for its own twisted purposes. You know, one Pokemon I didn't really suspect would end up in a video like this is Golbat. However, the Pokedex entry for Golbat reads, Golbat loves to drink the blood of living things. It is particularly active in the pitch black of night, and this Pokemon flits around in the night skies seeking fresh blood. This entry not only reveals that Golbat prefers to drink blood over having any other form of sustenance, but also hints at its overall predatory nature because it's hunting you down in the pitch black of night. Moving swiftly along from Golbat sucking my blood, let's talk about the Pokedex entry for Banette. As it reads, Banette generates energy for laying strong curses by sticking pins in its own body, as this Pokemon was originally a pitiful plush doll that was thrown away. So, not only does this reveal that Banette is an inherent masochist by sticking pins in itself, it also paints a very sad and tragic backstory for every single one of these Pokemon because they're just old dolls that just got thrown away when they were just trying to be loved. It's like if Toy Story turned dark. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe Lotso from Toy Story 3 was actually a Banette. Oh god, my childhood. Anyway, speaking of other ghost types, let's move on over to Gourgeist, whose Pokedex entry reads, Gourgeist sucks the life energy out of its victims, leaving them as withered husks. It relishes the fear of its prey and will laugh heartily before finishing them off. For real guys, if I ever encountered a Gourgeist in real life, I would absolutely avoid it because this Pokedex entry absolutely tells me that it is a predatory and a ruthless creature. And in general, it kinda seems like a sadist, as it derives pleasure from causing fear and terror in its victims, while it literally unalives them. To me, all of these Pokedex entries remind me of one simple thing. As trainers embark on their journey throughout the world of Pokemon, they really have to remember that the creatures they encounter are not just cute and harmless beings. Many Pokedex entries that I have discussed and multiple that I haven't explore other aspects of the Pokemon world and reveal a much darker and more complex nature to these creatures. It is completely up to trainers to understand and respect this dark side of the Pokemon world and keep themselves safe in the process. So be prepared, stay alert, and never underestimate the potential darkness that lurks within the world of Pokemon. And those were some dark Pokedex entries. Which one was your favorite? Which one would actually terrify you in real life? Personally, there are a number of these that under no circumstances I would ever want to encounter in real life, but I'm genuinely curious as to what you guys would think and if you would like to see a part 2. There are plenty of other Pokedex entries I did not mention here that are pretty spooky and I can probably tell you a decent little tale with, so definitely let me know if you'd like to see that down in the comments below. And while you're headed down that way, if you want to see more videos on Pokemon by me, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video, as it tells me and the YouTube algorithm that this video was a good one. But yeah, if you don't mind me, I'm going to grab my Switch and my Pokemon Scarlet and just look at my dash button and remember, not all things in this world are dark. As always, I hope you stay safe and you be bold, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.